face you.
Welcome to the Bushido gang. What's up, guys? It's Attack on Samurai, and welcome to another Pokemon Sword and Shield Showdown live, sort of. So this is my match that I had for the Ubers winter seasonal. So this is my round 1 match against Squinn. So it was a best of 3. Unfortunately, I didn't have the first game saved because in the first game I actually did forfeit. Because I pretty much lost, that game. So I actually have game 2 and game 3 recorded. Now these games were actually very, very close. Same was the first one, but the first one, like, his team pretty much like overwhelmed mine, or overwhelmed the first team I had. So didn't really like go the way I wanted it to. But before we get started, make sure you guys have a like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, join my Discord Bushido gang, and subscribe for some more content on the channel. Also follow me on my Pokeamino, and check out my Smogon profile. All those links will be down in the descriptiones. So yeah, without further ado, let's dive into this match. So I do want to give like a brief like team preview. So this was a team that I built like pretty early in the meta. Oh, I forgot to mention this is. I mean, I already mentioned it was Ubers, but just wanted to like reiterate that it is Ubers. As you can see, there's Zamazenta, Eternus and all that jazz. But yeah, this was the team that I actually used like pretty early in the generation. I want to say like maybe the 2nd or 3rd week. This is when I built this team. So I thought it wasn't really gonna do that well, but it ended up doing more than I expected. Basically, I have Rain plus Trick Room, and then I have Choice Band Zamazenta. My opponent actually brought the same team all 3 games. So you guys will see how his team plays out. But without further ado, let's actually dive into it. So turn 1, he leads with Mew. As I lead with my Ferrothorn, I switch out and I go into my hat to bounce back Hatchet if he goes for it. But he actually went for the Fire Blast turn 1. Then he goes for Fire Blast again, trying to get damage, but unfortunately he did miss. So I Trick Room right here, and I'm just gonna be like straight up aggressive. So I made this play to G-Max my Hatterene because the hat, like at preview, was really, really good against him. Psychic pretty much like blows back most of his defensive, well, not defensive, these two, but it definitely blows back his offensive mons like Zamazenta, can blow back the Mew as well. Definitely beats down Eternatus and Dougie as well. So I thought Trick Room was the right play to go for and be aggressive like early on. So that's pretty much why I made this play right here. So I'm going to Dynamax. I'm going to go for the G-Max Smite, and it's going to do so much damage to the Mew. And I also get the Confusion as well, as unfortunately he does get hit by it. So I go for the Max Mindstorm, do knock out the Mew. Pretty much went for this, that way I can get the most amount of damage with my Psychics afterwards. So brings in the Corviknight. I'm pretty much like expecting it to be like Speed Def or something, but nope, Corviknight died. So the Corvi is dead, as I am a offensive hat. So the fact that it still dropped was pretty insane to me though. that like Corvi just dropped right there, but because usually sometimes you see this one actually live, but guess he wasn't gonna live that one. So I still have my Trick Room up. He goes in the Dougie. He actually Dynamaxes right here, and he goes for the Max Guard, which was a really smart play on his part, pretty much to wear down my Trick Room. So he's able to go for the Max Quake, as I actually live with the hat, and I get some nice damage off with Psychic. So I will let the hat drop right here as he actually goes for the Max Rockfall. Don't know why he made that play. I guess maybe to make sure that I can't set up Rain or something, but I go on a Ferrothorn right here. I made this play to get up Rocks, which in hindsight wasn't really that great of a play, because I mean his team isn't really that weak to Rocks. So Rocks was kind of like a throwaway kind of move. I should have been more aggressive going for the Gyro Ball, but as you see, I do go for the Rocks right here, which I think what I was thinking about was probably just to weaken the Eternatus. I think that was more like on my mind, and also maybe the Dougie as well. But Rocks was really a dumb play on my part. I should have been more aggressive and went for the Gyro Ball. But I switch out here because I don't want to get hit with the CC. But this dude is real. Watch what he does. He goes for the Psyche Phase on the switch, and then just so much of my Eternatus, like so much. I didn't expect him to do that. That's why I made the play to actually go into. So I made the play to switch out because I was just like, okay, he's going to CC, but nah, this man definitely predicted it. So that was a great prediction on his part. I'm going to switch out here, go into Ferrothorn, so he takes some chip from Iron Bards. Then on the switching, I believe I go for the Jar Ball, expect him to go Eternatus, which he does. And I actually get a crit right here from this Jar Ball. Did like 39, which kind of told me that, you know, he's kind of defensive. So I go Jar Ball, it does 30. So yeah, seeing as how much that does, I'm just like, okay. And then he shows the Cosmic Power, and I'm just like, oh, no, no, no. I got a T-Wave you, bro. I had a T-Wave right there. As I go for the Leech Seed, so now I switch out going to my Eternatus, as he's going to go for, actually gets paralyzed right there, unfortunately. So I'm trying to get a little bit of health back on this. Goes into T-Tar. As I go for the Dynamax Cannon. Dynamax Cannon does around 32%. So this is some good chip off my offensive Eternatus. I switch out going to Pelipper to get the rain up as he goes for rocks. Now, I'm not going to lie. Bringing in the Pelipper right here, I feel like was a misplay. Mostly because at this point, as you can see, his team is looking very, very weak to Zamazenta. So I could have brought it in at any moment and just went for the CC at this point. But seeing as how defensive his Eternatus was, I was just like, I'm not going to really like be too aggressive. I want to try and weaken it as much as I can. So that way CC would do it. But I don't actually make that play. But that was just something that I thought about like at the back of my mind. But he goes into the Eternatus as I go for the U-turn. So I bring in my Barraskewda. As you know, I'm in the rain, got my Swift Swim up, but he actually goes T-Tar to sack it, which was a great play on his part. As I go for the Psychic Fangs right here, didn't go Liquidation because I really wasn't sure if Liquidation was gonna knock it out at 30%. I'm not gonna lie, like Eternatus has some bulk. Like that Mon has so much HP and like really good defenses as well, like 95 defenses and like 145 HP. So it could definitely live with Liquidation at the range I was at. At the range it was at. So Psychic Fangs was pretty much the best play I could have made there, but. Anyways, I go for the Psychic Fangs again. Actually, no, I go Liquidation on the switching as he goes to the Eternatus, right? Yep. So Eternatus drops right there. And he's able to trap my Barraskewda with Dougie as I am adamant. So he's gonna be able to do that, and he will trap me, and I pretty much gotta sack my Barraskewda. But at this point, I can pretty much win with Zamazenta now. As I go on the Ferrothorn first, just to weaken the Zamazenta more. As he actually goes T-Tar on the switching, which was a great play on his part to sack it. So he sacks T-Tar, and now his own Zamazenta is in here for free. He can pretty much just CC here. Doesn't have to risk anything. As I actually predict the CC and I go on the Pelipper, trying to sponge the hit as best I can and maybe try and revenge him with Hurricane. But CC did 40. So I was just like, okay, maybe that was a high roll. Then I died to the next one. I'm just like, you know, maybe that's just the damage it was. Maybe Pelipper was meant to die. So Pelipper died. I go on to Zamazenta as I actually go for the Psychic Fangs here. Not like it really matters since the game's pretty much over, but I went Psychic Fangs in case he would win the speed time, go for CC again. Pretty much trying to like capitalize on his -1 defense, but goes into Dougie as I go for the Psychic Fangs. I didn't want to go for CC in case he won the speed tie and just, you know, like slaughter me with CC, so that's why I made the play I made. So he gets his +1 defense. I actually won the speed tie. He goes for CC. CC doesn't do enough. It does 63. Hopefully I win the speed tie right here, and I do, and I'm able to knock out his Zamazenta, and that is the game. So definitely a pretty crazy game. The hat went stupid, but definitely it was pretty hacksy, I'm gonna say. Again, Mew missing Fire Blast, and also the para on Eternatus definitely mattered a lot. But pretty much because of that, I was able to come through for this game with my team. So yeah, that is going to be game 2. And I will be right back with game 3. So give me a second. Alright, so here's my game 3 match against Squinn. So this time I'm using the one of the teams I used in my live around the Crown Zamazenta. So this is the second version. The first version I actually used in my first game. And again, that game, well, not the first version. This is the first version. The second version was the one I used in the first game. That's what I mean to say. And it didn't really go too well. That's all I'm gonna say about that, because I ended up forfeiting at the end of that match, and he got the first game. But third game right here, using the first version of the Zamazenta team, and looking at my matchup against him, I definitely felt like Chandelure was gonna blow through him, especially after T-Tar's gone. So I pretty much had to play Chandelure in a way that I could set up with it against like one of his more passive mons, so like setting up on Chandelure, setting up on potentially a banded CC. I could set up on that, or I could even set up on Corviknight, even the even the what's it called? I already forgot the mon's name. Even the Eternatus, I set up on that as well. But you guys will end up seeing in this matchup. So without further ado, let's dive into this game. So turn 1, my opponent leads with Mew as I led with the Chandelure. So I led Chandelure because, like I said, Chandelure does really good against him. Also, again, he's lead Mew, so he's most likely going to go for a Fire Blast or go for Spikes or whatever. So I pretty much make the aggressive play, and I go for the Shadow Ball right here. So the fact that I outsped him as well told me that he must have been like more defensively invested. But he goes in the T-Tar. Now, if this wasn't, if Pursuit wasn't taken away, I actually would have lost this game like turn 1 or turn 2. I definitely would have just lost from right at this point. But luckily Pursuit isn't here, so I'm able to switch out my Chandelure. So I'm able to switch it out right here as he goes for Rocks, I believe, on the switch-in. Or actually, I think he might have attacked me. No, he did go for Rocks on the switch-in. What I do right here is I get up my own Hazard, I believe. Yeah, I get up Spikes here as my opponent is going to bring in the Mew. So I bring in Claydol. So I brought Claydol in case he wanted to go for Fire Blast or he wanted to go for another layer of hazards. But he ends up just going U-turn on my Rocky Helmet Claydol. Now he brings in the Zamazenta. I'm actually going to try and scout for the Crunch. So I go into my own Zamazenta. My Crown Zamazenta to scout for the Crunch as my opponent actually went for the Crunch right there. So since he went Crunch, he's pretty much free to go into Mew as he actually sacked Mew, expecting me to go back into Claydol, I believe. I think that was his play, or he just wanted to sack it. I think he was predicting Claydol. That's why he made that play. But the Zamazenta comes back in. I was hoping I could live a Crunch. Unfortunately, I do not live the Crunch, so I'm not able to get rid of hazards. Now, the hazards don't really play too much of a big deal this game. Granted, it definitely did hurt my Chandelure, but you're going to see later on it doesn't really matter too much. So I bring in the Ferrothorn as he's locked into Crunch. He switches out, goes into the Eternatus as I believe I went for the T-Wave. Yeah, I went for the T-Wave. T-Wave because it pretty much like caught the Eternatus again. Pretty much like the last game. So this is going to get paralyzed. I actually lived the Flamethrower because I have some Spadef investment. So I'm able to take it. I get some Leech Seed recovery off as well. And now he goes into Dougie. So on Dougie, I go into the Eternatus because I wanted to capitalize on his own Eternatus. And watch this, bro. Watch this. Watch this. This man's going to get shook. This man actually got shook right here. So he Dynamaxes. I have no investment. That's still killed. like, hear me out on this. These Dynamax moves are really, really strong. Like Dynamax Cannon and then Dynamax. I don't think it was Dynamax Cannon. It was Behemoth Bash. Behemoth Bash for Zamazenta and Behemoth Blade for Zacian. Those are really, really strong and so good against Dynamax mons. But the fact that that's still killed and I have barely any investment. Actually, I didn't have any investment on this set. So the fact that killed is honestly really funny to me. But it does double the damage, and dude was just like, am I calculating something wrong? Like, I thought that was funny. But anyways, he brings in the T-Tar as I go for the Toxic on the switch-in. He goes for Quake. Quake does a good chunk to me, but I'm able to switch out here. And actually, no, I recover. I recover here. He goes for T-Wave. Lands it, of course. But this getting paralyzed didn't really matter too much. He goes Quagsire on the switch-in. I go for Quagsire as he goes for Quake, doing nothing. So right here, I believe I go for the Scald. I do go for the Scald on the switch-in into Corviknight. Yeah, I do. I was trying to get a burn. Just trying to wear this thing down as much as possible in case he wanted to Dynamax with it beforehand. That's what I was thinking beforehand. But he brings in the Eternatus. I go for the recovery just to make sure that I keep my Quagsire nice and healthy, especially for the Zamazenta if it comes to it. So he goes for the recover with his own Eternatus. As I go for the Dynamax Cannon as he sacks the T-Tar right here. So T-Tar will be getting sacked at this point. So there goes T-Tar. Pretty much just drops to Poison. And potentially a Dynamax Cannon as well, but unfortunately I do get paralyzed, so I'm not able to knock out the T-Tar, and I have to take some damage, but it's not that big of a deal. T-Tar will drop down to Poison, and now what he can do is bring in his Zamazenta and go for Psychic Fangs, as I believe I went into Ferrothorn to scout for it, and unfortunately it's still able to knock me out, but the fact I got chip on this is still more important, so that's going to drop right there. I go into my own Zamazenta as he's locked into Psychic Fangs. And now he's pretty much free to go into the Eternatus, as he does go for the Eternatus. I actually went for CC, expecting him to go into Corviknight, since his Corviknight is physically defensive. But unfortunately, he went to the Eternatus. Took nothing from that. I go for Behemoth Bash. It still took nothing. So I'm pretty much forced to switch out here and go into Quagsire, as actually Quagsire can kind of break through the Eternatus a little bit, or can wear it down a little bit, since I am unaware and I don't really care about his setup. So Quake does 36. As now I go into my own Eternatus. I expected him to go into Corviknight, which is why I made this play, but instead he just went for the recover anyway, which I was pretty surprised about. I really thought he'd go back into the Corvi, but he decided to be aggressive. So he sets up again with the Eternatus, and now at this point I'm just like, you know what, I don't think you can touch me. I'm just gonna sit up right now with the Chandelure, and unfortunately he does get paralyzed as well, but at this point he can't really do much here. I'm pretty sure his last move was Toxic, since he is running like this Cosmic Power set, so I was pretty much free to just set up on this thing and just run through him. So pretty much that's going to be the end of this game. I pretty much just run through the rest of his team. Wait, hold up. That is on fast, right? Okay. I thought it would be faster. But yeah, I just keep calm minding up, yada yada yada, and that's pretty much going to be that. So yeah, I just keep calm minding, go for the Shadow Ball. I didn't really like try to, well, I mean, I kept Shadow Balling after this point. But after like a couple Shadow Balls, I end up Dynamaxing, then going for the max move, and I was able to knock out the Eternatus afterwards. So he's gonna keep calm. He's gonna keep going for the Cosmic Power, but I will keep wearing him down with the Shadow Ball. A Shadow Ball does 31%, so that's still a good chunk. And he keeps trying to set up, pretty much just giving up at this point. So go for Shadow Ball again. So it is a good chunk. He recovers right there. Then I was looking at how many Shadow Balls I had left, and I was just like, oh wait, this thing has what's it called? It has pressure. So pretty much right here, I go for the I almost said Z. Go for the Dynamax move, and I am able to knock out his Eternatus, and that is pretty much gonna be the game. He goes for the Crunch here. Banded Crunch does not knock me out, and I am able to beat him down with a Max Flare, and that is going to be the end of the third game, and pretty much going to be my first win for the Uber Winter Seasonal. So definitely going to be doing a lot more coverage with this little tournament. So, you know, hey, this is actually my first win of a Sword and Shield tourney. Sword and Shield Smogon tourney. So, you know, that's pretty dope. Pretty dope, honestly. Definitely a great start. Like tourney wise. So hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure you guys leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, join my Discord Bushido gang, and subscribe for some more content on the channel. Also, follow me on my Pokeamino, and check out my Smogon profile. All those links will be down in the description. So I will see you guys in round 2 of the Uber seasonal, of the Uber Winter Seasonal. I also did sign up for OST as well, so I will be putting up my match for that pretty. My match isn't until Wednesday, so I'll probably put that up on Thursday when you guys see it. So yeah, or I'll put it up on Wednesday, one of the two. I'll probably put it up on Wednesday because I don't have any other classes besides my morning class, and then pretty much just free for the whole day. So I'll probably end up doing that. We'll see. But I definitely just rambled on. All right, peace out, y'all.